Hey guys, Jay Wilson from Onyx reporting here. Um, just thought I'd make a quick YouTube tutorial about one of the questions that came up in the Domo Dojo. For some reason, window functions are really popular this week, and a lot of people are asking questions about them. And actually, this specific question I haven't seen too often. Um, and actually, as I was thinking through the solution based off of what was true a couple weeks ago, I like typed up this long response. Then I went to test it, and I realized I was wrong. The product has changed. So yeah, there's some new features coming out in the most recent beta, most recent release of the beta that fundamentally change some of the approaches that you can take when it comes to dealing with window functions. So I thought I would take the time to share. Before I do that, guys, if you are not signed up in the dojo, please take the time, get registered on the Domo Dojo. Please, please, please update your user profile names so we know who you are. 17569, whoever you are, don't take this personally, but your name's really forgettable. And so, as people like me or Grant or some of the other top posters in the community, as we interact with you, we're going to probably talk to you multiple times, but we won't know it's you because your profile is forgettable. So maybe update your avatar. Just help us out. The other thing you can do is you can join the Domo Dojo. The Slack user group. The Slack user group is kind of next to the dojo. We have a lot of top posters kind of interacting there. If you have a question that you need an answer to right now, there's probably somebody awake who can kind of address your question, because maybe we are or are not going through the dojo. Although I do try to go at least once a day and just kind of make sure all of the questions are answered. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about this question. So the user says they want to build market share over time and an analysis of that. And they want to show top 6 competitors and lump everyone else into this like other category. And historically, this would have been very difficult to do without pre-aggregating your data using Magic ETL or MySQL, because of how bad. And Domo, I think you make a great product, but your window function implementation and analyzer, it could use some work. But it was super cool as I was going in there today, because some of the features had changed that made addressing this problem possible. So let's jump in and see what that looks like. I've got a fake data set here. 10 rows, or sorry, I'm going to do top 5, not top 10. But the idea is, I've got random data here. I've got my customers, I've got the sale amount, and I've got some data. Let's talk about what you can do today, right now. What you can do, pop this into a table card. Everything. Super easy, right? Sum of amount, very easy. And you said, okay, Jay, this is good. I want to know the top 10 or the top 5. All right. To do top 5, you need to use what are called windowed functions. If you haven't heard of window functions, I've got much longer tutorials about that topic in the context of Domo Analyzer. So take a look at those. But the function that we're looking at right now is to take the rank over order by the sum of amount. Okay. So like, I don't remember. Like I said, if you need to do a window function like this, you need to get a beta, not a beta feature. You need to get a feature switch enabled. Talk to your CSM about that so that you can calculate or use window functions in Analyzer. Great. This is good, but we're not there yet, because the user originally asked for top n, and in our case, we're going to do top 5. And to get top 5, you might think, all right, so I'm going to do my case statement here. And I'll say case, when the rank is less than or equal to 5, then I want you to print the customer's name. Else, we're going to bucket them into this category called and we'll call this customer display. All right. This is where it all goes sideways. Okay, so this works, right? I've got my customer display for my top 5 rank, and then everybody else is lumped into other, but watch what happens when I remove customer from the axis. Compresses to one row. That's not what I want. And again, I've done tutorials on the topic, but the gist of the issue is because I no longer have customer on the axis. What Domo does is it says, select the sum amount of my table and group by nothing because customer is not on the axis. So it just returns one row, 1,251. And then it says, okay, from this set of rows, what's the rank? Well, there's only one row, so the rank is 1. And then in my case statement here, it calculated the rank, and then it pulled the first customer name that was in that data set, which happened to be customer A. So the short version of the story is you can't. With the tools available in Analyzer, you cannot lump your data the way the user wants. But it doesn't mean we're stuck. We can use some of the new features coming out in Domo to kind of get it. So I'm going to go back to my raw transactional data set here, and I'm going to create a dataset view. Again, this is a beta feature, so talk to your CSM and get them to enable this on your instance. It's a beta product, so it doesn't work perfectly. It still has its hiccups, but I know a lot of the consultants in the States are kind of integrating this into their data pipelines. When I do consulting with customers, this is one of the first beta features that I ask to get enabled because it is so incredibly powerful. All right, I can very easily create the table that I had in Analyzer, but what I'm also really excited about, and you should be too, is that you can create, I can't type and talk. You can create beast modes, calculated measures, calculated columns in your dataset view, which is pretty sweet. Because then I have to, define fewer beast modes in my card. All right, so now I've got the same view of the data, and I'm going to rename this so it's a little bit more obvious. We'll call this we'll call this rank customer all, right? Because that's what it is. I'm ranking my customers by their sales across all time. And while that is very powerful, that is a limitation that we're going to have to talk about in a minute. From here, I can build my card. Here's my card. And you might be thinking, Jay, this is literally what we looked at 5 seconds ago. It is, but it isn't. This card is built on the rank data set, not the raw, multi-million row data set. And what that means is because it's a data set view, I don't have to write out that really long rank function. I can use a column that's called rank. Okay, and that's looking pretty good. Let me drop rank from the column here, and now I've got my top 5 customers. Everyone else is grouped under other, just like user 17567. So yes, it is possible to do the thing if you use dataset views. Now, another thing I'm super stoked about, for those of you who have been using Domo for a while and have run into this problem, here's some new behavior that has changed. So I'm going back to my raw transactional data here. So it's the version of the data set that's not running through my dataset view. Let me take out this stuff. Okay, so one of the things that you may have heard is you may have heard consultants or support say you cannot filter on an aggregate. In the context of this analyzer card, if your question was, hey Jay, I just want to see all of the customers who had total sales greater than $200, I would have to filter on an aggregate, right? Because amount is, this column is the sum of the amount field. And historically, you were not able to do that. So what can I do? I can create a function called sum amount. I can call it total sales. And now I can filter on total sales is greater than or equal to 200. Historically, you were not able to do that. That said, there is a beta, a feature switch that you can have enabled that will allow you to filter on aggregates. But it comes with all these caveats, like it's not fully supported, it's not fully developed, and things may break. The general. So if you're trying to filter on aggregates, you can ask for the beta for the feature switch with your CSM, but I don't recommend it because stuff breaks or doesn't always behave the way you expect it to. Coming to my dataset view, however, I can filter on sum of amount is greater than or equal to 200 without defining an aggregate function, and I don't expect to see that error. Now that said, my instance of Domo has a bunch of feature switches enabled, and I don't work at Domo, so I don't necessarily know what things do work for you and what won't work for you if you've got vanilla Domo. So leave a message in the comments if there are certain things that broke for you or certain things that worked for you, and then indicate if you know whether or not certain features have or have not been enabled on your instance through your CSM. Okay, we're on the home stretch, guys. What I like about this dataset view, like I said, I can show my customer display clean. I can filter on rank. I can have that ranking in place. All of these things are good things. But what I don't like is I no longer have the ability to say, hey, I want to see my top 5 customers by year, right? Because this data set is aggregated to the customer level. I don't have access to the date level anymore. So what can we do about it? What I can do is I can take my rank table, rank view, and I can join it to the raw data. And I can do that using a dataset view or a fusion. I'm going to opt to use a fusion just because I like to show you guys all the tools. You know, plenty of people, even consultants, I always find it disappointing. I know plenty of people are like, I never use fusion. There's a time and a place for everything. And this is one of those times. So we're going to grab my dataset view. We're going to grab my raw data, and then I'm going to join the two together. I'm going to put my raw data on the left. I'm going to join it to my rank table on the right. Be careful when you do an inner join or a left join. Take the time to think through which one is the right one for you. Exclude the customer column from my rank table. I'm going to exclude the total amount from the rank table, and then just keep rank. Okay. I'm calling it this isn't quite right yet because it's not. It's good, but it's not quite right. Let's create a card in Analyzer. Okay. Now I can do all of this stuff we talked about previously. I can still create my display card, my customer display column, which was case when rank is less than or equal to 5, then customer, else, other. Okay, this is building against a fusion. So my fusion has the same number of rows as my transactional data set, right? And I'm super excited about this because now I can show my customers, I can show the date the activity happened, I can show individual transaction amounts. Oh, sorry, this is the sum of amount. I can show individual transactions, or I can show total transactions. We are, except for one small problem. This rank column is based off of sales across all time. So customer A is my best customer across the combination of 2020 and 2019. And I see here I have a typo. Ignore the typo. But what that implies is customer G may have been my best customer in 2019, but customer G is, yeah, customer G might have been my best customer in 2019, but they stopped doing business with me. And so I don't see them in customer display, which isn't a problem until you filter on 2019. If I filter to 2019, this rank calculation is still based off of all time. And that's kind of where Domo falls back apart. Because I had to pre-calculate rank in a dataset view, I no longer have the ability to accurately present rank if I start applying filters. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world. You know, where there's a will, there's a way, right? We can always create workarounds. What I can do is I can take my date table and I can create another data set. And just this time, create a new rank function. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to calculate my top customer, let's say in the last 365 days. Well, I'll just do 2020 because I don't actually have a date column. So I'll say, what am I doing? So rank 2020. Case, calculate the rank. Over. Order by. Sum of amount. Descending. That's what we originally had. But now I want to calculate the rank for 2020. So I only want to include amounts for the year is 2020. So I could do something like case when the dates column, which is currently the year 2020, is equal to the year of today. How do you get today? Now? Yeah. Then amount else 0. Case when date is equal to the year of now, then amount else 0. End. Oh, what don't you like? Is there a year function? Is there a now function? Guys, where's my typo? I don't want to spend a lot of time looking for a typo. Okay, so theoretically, look at that. So customers A, B, C, and D were my 9th best customer in 2019, but the rank is for 2020. You would think that this should be null. And I also did a longer set of posts recently about working with nulls. This else 0, I think, is what's tripping me up. Let me remove else 0 and now in 2019, it's still 9. All right, fine. Didn't want to do it this way, but you made me do it. Case when date equals year of now. Then do the math. Else. No else, just null. Okay, so my rank this year, which is 2020, here are my top N. Cool. And if you wanted to do a rank for 2019 and so on, you could do so. I'm not going to finish off this pattern. You know what to do. Just take this view, join it into your raw data, or join it into your Fusion, right? Because you can have multiple data sets joined in on your Fusion. And then you can have multiple rank columns. You just choose the right rank column for the metric. Okay. So that's that in a nutshell. What we looked at today was using Dataset Views to lump my top 6 competitors and everyone else into another category. We used the rank function and then put a case statement off the end of it. The big walkaway, though, was that we were unable anymore. In Analyzer, we were unable to do all of it directly against a raw data set because when you remove customer from the access, it compressed to one row. And that's why we went with this dataset view approach for pre-calculating my rank. Because we wanted to see the individual transactions, that's why we built a fusion. That's why we built a fusion that combined my rank with my top 10. But I called it not quite right yet because if I filter my transactions on a year, 2020, 2019, what have you, the problem is that I lost my train of thought. What's the problem? Oh yeah, this rank that we initially calculated was across all time. So the rank does not respond to changes in the date filter. It's still going to calculate the same rank. And that's why we created another data set where we did rank this year or rank last year, what have you, and you would just add that data set into your fusion. Okay, my name is Jay Wilson. I'm a freelance consultant at Onyx Reporting. This is what I do. I work on Domo stuff all day for customers, fall asleep, I wake up, check the dojo, make tutorial videos, and then I do more work for customers on Domo. If you have questions, hit me up, leave something in the YouTube comments, email me at jae@onyxreporting.com. Ask us about joining the Domo user group Slack channel. Oh, we've got a meeting coming up. We're a very active community all about helping people like you be successful in Domo. So I hope to hear from you guys soon, and we'll catch you later.